Here's a quick demonstration of an external motion sensor in action. When people think of a burglar alarm, they tend to think of internal intruder protection inside of a house or property. But what if I told you that burglar alarms in the last few years have evolved, not just to catch intruders inside of a property, but potentially up to 10 meters away before they get anywhere near? Hi, I'm Simon from Simon Security Expert. In today's video, we're going to be talking about outside motion protection, how it's transforming the burglar alarm industry, what it is, and 3 key points that people find most beneficial when it comes to external protection. So to begin, let's talk about what a burglar alarm is. Well, a burglar alarm is a system designed to alert you to potential burglary. Now, with this system, it uses several different types of sensors, one of which is a motion sensor, also known as a PIR. Now, PIR stands for passive infrared. And the reason it stands for passive infrared is because it's actually looking for infrared light. So you know when you've got those sensors that are in the top corner of your room, what they're looking for is infrared light. What gives off infrared light? We do, in the form of heat. Because we're hotter than the surrounding environment, the sensor sees that light and therefore will send a signal back to the control panel to trigger the alarm to say that it's seen encroachment into that area. Now technology is developed, we can actually put these types of sensors outside. Now they usually have 2 types of detection in them. So it has the PIR setting, but because of potential false alarms, there's a lot going on outside, there's a lot of temperature changes, there's a lot of movement. They also have a secondary line of detection, which is microwaves. Now that sometimes can be a bit of a buzzword for some people because they think microwaves, I don't want a sensor that's emitting microwaves on the side of my property, that's dangerous. Well, just to put it in perspective, your mobile phone emits about 10,000% more and that thing's sitting in your pocket or sitting next to your bed, so trust me, you're absolutely fine. But for an external motion sensor to trigger, these 2 types of technology will have to say, yes, it's seen movement in that area. They actually also work with a very smartly designed, smartly? Is smartly a word? I think so. A very smartly designed lens. Now, the lens is the unit that actually sits in front of the sensor, and when it looks out into an area, it zones an area, and to put it simply, it just knows the size and weight of an object to know if it's a human potentially encroaching into that space. So broadly speaking, that's how an external motion sensor works, and they are incredibly reliable now. Right now, at the moment in the UK, the storms outside is absolutely horrendous. I've got one sitting in my back garden on the Godfather security system. It's got foxes running through my gardens, it's got cats running through my gardens, it's got all types of animals and all sorts running around, and it will not trigger for them, and the bad weather is no problem for it at all. So now they've evolved in such a way that you can relax with your external motion sensor outside, maybe protecting your back garden or a side passageway, knowing that a human isn't going to be able to go into that area without you knowing about it when the system's set. Now for that, it has 3 key benefits. For the people I've installed a lot of these for, these are the 3 benefits of the external motion sensor that always pop up and tend to be the main things people absolutely love about them when it comes to the external sensor. So number 1, let's have a look what we've got under here. Detection from a distance. Now the benefit of this is traditionally burglar alarms, right? They pick someone up once they're either inside the property or when they're trying to gain entry. But with an external motion sensor, you can pick someone up when they're 8 to 10 meters away. Imagine they're approaching the property in the darkness, at night time, and they're coming into the back garden thinking that's a more secure way. The external motion sensor sees them, and when they're still ages away from the property, the alarm's triggered and they scarper before they've got anywhere near and even had a chance to quickly grab something, which leads us on perfectly to point number 2. And what people love about it is it prevents damage. So when a burglar is trying to gain access to a property, they often cause a lot of damage, whether from jimmying windows, booting doors, breaking glass. A lot of ways when they're trying to get access, they can damage a property, they can damage inside. Once they're inside, they turn the place inside out. That's an absolute disaster. But when you've got it protecting from a distance, it prevents any damage at all happening to your home or business. So as early detection as possible is key. Leads us on to number 3. Move around freely inside. So I'll stand here. Move around freely inside. Now, when you've got a burglar alarm, traditionally, say if you've got motion sensors that's inside all the rooms, when you want to set it, say on a nighttime set when you go to bed, it just means you can move around upstairs. But if you were to come downstairs, you have to unset the alarm. The benefit of an external motion sensor is you can set the system and, you know, in one type of group, one type of set, where you arm, say, the external motion sensors only. And when you get in, you know, it's 6 p.m. in the evening, you can alarm the external motion sensors and you can move around the entire house and you're still very well protected from someone trying to get access to your property at any time of day, really. So it gives you the freedom to move around your property even though the alarm is still set, whereas beforehand you might have had motion sensors in all the rooms and therefore you could only move around upstairs because you've got it set on a night set. So it gives you flexibility, which is key for anyone to be able to enjoy having the security but also being able to just use their house as normal. So is it the total future of security? No, but it is a strong aspect of it. It doesn't necessarily fit for everyone. You might live in an apartment building, you might not have a back garden, you might not have side passageways. There's all sorts of different environments where a traditional burglar alarm will still suit you better, but this is just one additional asset for a certain type of customer that can just enhance their security if they see fit and if they want to use it. The thing is, just not a lot of people know about it at the moment, and at the beginning, as with any new technology, people don't trust it, so it'll take a long time before it actually comes into fruition that people know it's not just going to be false alarming all the time. Burglar alarms in the traditional sense are still going to be a mainstay of a security system, but this just gives you an extra option if you think it's beneficial to you. So what do you think? Is external motion protection something you'd want, something you can see the benefit of, or do you think it's just another overhyped security measure that doesn't have a place in modern society? Your opinion is as good as mine, so let's hear it. And if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these two.